Many years ago, Excel introduced a feature which actually was incredibly useful and suddenly transformed how the internet interacted with spreadsheets. And this is probably one of the biggest differences that we're going to be concerned with between the Windows version and the Mac version. The Mac version's interface and its ability to do some of this interrogation is quite poor, and there was an interim version window that was quite limited. So if you are running those, try to follow the steps, but they're not as easy nor are they as precise as they are under the Windows system. So what are we going to do? We're going to collect data from the web, and I've created a new sheet called web data. But the first way I'm going to do this is it's going to end up creating a new worksheet, and that's perfectly fine. So where are we going to get our data from? Well, that's quite simple. I want to grab the data for the FTSE 100, the Financial Times Stock Exchange top 100 companies here in the UK. Now, I could have gone to the London Stock Exchange, but the trouble with the London Stock Exchange website is that it now no longer lists the entire list of all 100. Here I've got the entire list of all 100. So that's really helpful from a browsing point of view. And I say the London Stock Exchange does it by a series of pages of 20. So I want to just get to the data. So I'm using one by an organisation called Hargreaves Lansdown. Now, there is, I believe, a 15-minute delay at least between that data, but that's okay. We're not doing anything with that data today, and this is just an exercise in collecting data. The one thing I need to do is click in the web address and copy it. I'm going to do Control-C, but I could just as easily right-clicked and chosen copy. That would have worked just as well. I'm then going to minimize my web browser, and there's my web page. Keep with A1, my spreadsheet. I'm then going to just go to here. I could go to get data from web, from online services and so on, but I'm going to just simply go from web. The new wizard looks like this, and if you've got the old wizard, don't worry, I'm going to go over that shortly. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to paste. I could have right-clicked and chosen paste. I did Control-V. I'm just going to do the basic. If I wanted to do advanced, if I wanted to go through just parts of the website or define it or timeout commands, but all of that we don't need to worry about. We're just looking at the basics here. So keep with the basic. Just put your URL in, Universal Resource Locator. No wonder we call them web addresses. And I'm going to click on OK. That then goes off to form a connection. And what it's trying to do now is find out any data with there. So I've got a series of tables, and quite simply, I could go to Web View, and that's quite handy. And if I go down, I can find the data, and it's called Table 0. The other way of doing it is simply to click on Table 0, and there's the data. But I can do that either way. So I've got the table view, I've chosen Table 0, and I'm going to click Load. Now, as I say, this is going to load the data, but it's actually going to load it into a new page, which we'll call Web Data New Interface. New Wizard. Let's not call it interface. Let's call it a wizard. Then we can think of those pointy hats. And we've got this connection. We've seen this before pop up before. This is the connection that's showing me the data, where it's come from, and when it was last refreshed, 1142. And that's the entire list. I've now got hold of the data. This is a table, and we've seen this appear before. Tables in Excel are different to ordinary spreadsheets. So if I wanted to deal with these, I have to deal with certain ways of referencing that I don't just use as cell referencing, and that's fine. We will come across that later on, and that's not going to be an issue. But I have the data there. What's more important is when I reload the spreadsheet, when I save it and reload it, this data will become updated. And in fact, I've got on this side the queries and connections, and I've got here this connection here, and you can see it's listed 1142. This is what we just looked at. I've got view in worksheet. I've got the edit command, so I can edit the data here. I've got an option to do a few more things to there. But the other thing I can do is I can right click on there, and I can just simply say refresh. And that will go off, and down the bottom here on the status bar, it's telling me it's running that analysis. Now, some of those values may well have changed. I didn't see if they did. But that's what it will do. It will go back to the web page and it will update from the web page. So it will keep that refreshing. So that's really useful. And that means that I can work with live data and interrogate that live data and use that effectively. But if you've got the older version, you've got the older web interface, the older wizard. So let's just see how that works. Now I've activated ours. If you remember, I went to File, Options. I went to Data, from Web, Legacy. I've ticked that one, and that then appears in my list under Legacy Wizards. I can then click on that, and your wizard may well have looked like this. Now, as is the want of Microsoft, they've taken us to their own version of the browser. If you ever get this corner that's got these funny lines, that's telling you can actually extend the window a bit, and that can be really handy to do. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click in there, highlight the whole address, and paste the one I wanted. And just like a browser, I can then browse through. Notice they say we don't support this browser anymore because this is a cut down version of Internet Explorer. But I don't care because I just want to get that table. So I just scroll down, click on the one I want, import. It will then ask me where I want to in the existing worksheet at A1 and click OK. Despite everything else, this is now collecting the data, by the way, it's still live data. I can still update that data without any concerns whatsoever. So that's a really useful tool, even with, and in fact, in a way, the old wizard was a nice, easy to use wizard. The new one's superb. You do get this table. It does allow you to do some more. We do have the filters on there, so I can filter the data if I wanted to, and I can do all kinds of things with these things, sort the data as I want to. And I can't do that here straight away, but you now know how to add those filters. You know that you can simply go, well, there's one there under data filter, and I can add filters. It's gone to the wrong row, but that's because there's nothing there, so it doesn't know what to do with those two. And so you just put headings in there and it will work those. We could put filters in there, but we can layer it, tidy it up, re-represent it. I told it to go to A1. The table's got a couple of blank lines, so that's fine, but you can delete those and bring those up. And that is importing data from the web. It really is that simple. And I think you would agree it's actually quite powerful because we've now got live data we can actually use directly within our spreadsheet. There you go. See you in the next lesson.